I just have a show of hands. How many people how many guys like hamburgers? Alright, my topic is deforestation in the Amazon, and my claim is the cure for cancer is slipping away, partially due to our love for cheeseburgers. In recent years, Brazil has become the top beef exporting country. Brazil's government policies support deforestation by providing incentives for people and corporations to clear large parcels of unclaimed rainforest land and raise cattle. This is bad because evidence suggests that some of those plants specific to rainforests may lead to cancer cures and other important medical applications. Rainforest land is a valuable resource. If deforestation doesn't stop, the cure will slip out of our hands one cheeseburger at a time. Cattle production by Brazil has been the driving force behind deforestation in the Amazon. Brazil owns the largest single share of the Amazon with 49.7%, which equals 1.5 million square miles of rainforest. According to Greenpeace, in the years between 1990 and 2005, the country of Brazil cleared over 42 million hectares of rainforest, an area roughly the size of California, about 10% of the entire Amazon. The report also stated that 80% of that deforested land is now used as cow pasture. Obviously, the main cause of deforestation is land clearing for cattle pasture. But deforestation is going to get worse. According to the World Wildlife Fund, 55% of the rainforest will be severely damaged by agriculture, drought, fire, logging, and livestock ranching, with only 4% contributed to global warming. It is anticipated that 80% of the wildlife habitat in the region will be destroyed. The WWF also warns that within 15 to 25 years, ecological recovery for the Amazon will no longer be possible. Brazilian beef companies are becoming so massive that on October 20th, 2008, the U.S. Department of Justice filed an antitrust lawsuit against beef packaging giant JBS. The company, headquartered in Brazil, was blocked from acquiring National Beef Packing Company. The acquisition would have made JBS the #1 beef packer in the United States, with the capability to produce more than a third of U.S. federal cattle packing capacity. Between 1996 and 2006, the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics recorded that the area of pastures in the Amazon grew by approximately 10 million hectares, an area the size of Iceland. Brazil became the top world supplier of beef in 2003. This was due to the devaluation of the Brazilian real, which doubled the price of beef in Brazil, but lowered the price of beef against the dollar. Brazil is expected to increase exports by 229% by 2010, according to the Iowa Farm Bureau. The competitive prices of Brazilian beef worldwide led to increasing demand in the early 2000s. The Brazilian government encourages its citizens to cut large parcels of rainforest by giving them subsidies and tax breaks. Deforestation due to farming was not an issue during leaner times, since farmers did not have cash to expand their pasture lands and government did not have funds to support them with subsidies. It is increasingly placing a strain on wildlife as more roads are built through Amazonian land to fund and support cattle pastures. Land tenure laws also contribute to deforestation, which allows Brazilian developers and colonists to gain title to Amazonian land by clearing forests and placing 6 head of cattle on per hectare of land. This also contributes to rainforest depletion. Brazil's economy is reliant on beef exports to service its public debt, which is why there are such great tax incentives and subsidies provided. Russia is the main purchaser of Brazilian cattle beef, followed by Egypt, Italy, Holland, the UK, Algeria, and the United States. Converting rainforest land into pasture is pretty dumb. Rainforests cover only 2% of Earth's surface, but they support over half of the planet's wild plants and trees, and half of the world's wildlife. They are incredibly diverse and are essential to man's survival. The Amazon is the largest and arguably the most important rainforest on Earth. If it were a country, it would be the 9th largest country in the world. It is commonly known that the Amazon is responsible for producing more than 20% of the oxygen in the world, which has earned it the nickname the lungs of the world. Despite that, an article published by Reuters states that in 2004, Brazil became the #4 producer of greenhouse gases in the world, most of which is due to slash and burn techniques used by farmers. Slashing and burning is a technique used to clear forest where acres of trees are indiscriminately chopped down, left to dry, and set on fire. The slash and burn technique has devastating effects on the ecology of the Amazon. After trees are cleared, savanna grasses are planted for cattle to graze. The savanna grasses deplete the soil of nutrients quickly, and after only a couple years, farmers must repeat the process all over again with a new patch of rainforest. The technique leads to an effect known as savannization. It is extremely difficult for the same types of native plants and trees to grow back, and if they do, they return at a slower rate with less biomass. The process effectively turns dense, rich rainforest land into sparse, dry savanna. The repercussions are staggering, causing O2 levels to fall and CO2 levels to rise. Greenpeace states that the Amazon supports 40,000 plant species, and a single hectare of Amazon can contain up to 750 types of trees and 1,500 species of plants. Yeah, I guess I ran out of time.
Could you just hold up the card instead of saying the time? Because if they're in the middle of the sentence, they'll probably finish. No, I know you're trying to make sure because they're not looking up, you know. But that's their responsibility. You don't need to be the alarm clock for them. Yeah, right. They'll finish it, you know, if they can. All right, Stephen, you made the argument about cancer and the cure for cancer, and you don't get to that in your argument. So that, you know, that you got the wrong proposition. You've got a better argument about the dangers of getting rid of the rainforest for environmental reasons.
That was my next
Yeah, like I said, that's you needed to get to that a little bit quicker. I know you ran out of time. The proposition I thought was very clearly stated. There's not as strong a setup of the contents as there ought to be. Remember, you want a roadmap for the audience. Here's where we're going to go. I thought the background explanation was pretty good. Internally, though, your signposts, that you need the numerical signposts and you need to highlight them a little bit. Casual listeners are not going to be able to follow everything that you're saying or remember the order in which events occurred. Your descriptions are pretty good, but sometimes it seems like the descriptions sound like they ought to be getting a source citation. Maybe you were given the descriptions or maybe you got this information from someplace, but if you're quoting something, always make sure that you give a citation on it. I thought that you did a good job, though, giving source citations for some of the statistical information that you had, the World Wildlife Groups, for instance, that you cited, about the amount of rainforest that's disappearing, about savannahization, that one. Your causality is kind of explained, but I think you're making some big inferences there, and of course you don't get to that last one, which is a little problematic. You don't really have much audience contact, and so that's undermining your credibility. And because you're spending so much time having to explain what's going on, that's part of the reason that you can't get to that last key point. I don't know how much of it was there, but I kind of mentioned it too when I saw your outline. Holy crap, you've got a lot of stuff in here that you're going to be trying to do. Remember, 6 minutes almost always goes faster than people expect it to. Thank you.